Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
And this is Connie.
Oh yeah, that's Connie.
Sleeping.
He's usually sleeping. Hey, have you subscribed? Have you commented? Have you ever liked our video? Please take a moment and say hello, or better, hit the subscribe button. We're collecting subscribers. Whoa.
I think you've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Today, we're going to do a tutorial on, somebody asked for this. We read the comments. Somebody asked for Baddha Padmasana. Baddha means?
Bound.
Padma.
Lotus.
Asana.
Pose.
Yep. Down lotus pose. And so this is in the finishing sequence for Ashtanga yoga. You know, not that much to say about it, but I can see why somebody would want, you know, a little bit more
Like some tips and
breakdown.
tricks.
Yeah, because it can be challenging. When I started Ashtanga, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because the full expression is that you're sitting in lotus, obviously, and then you're holding on to your feet, you're bound.
Yeah.
And that takes, for some of us, it takes a while to be able to do that. If you have longer limbs, maybe that wasn't a big struggle.
Today we're going to also show you the advanced version with a chihuahua in your lap. One of the few prop exceptions in Ashtanga yoga.
Yes, it's true. He's propping himself. He's like asleep, but... All right.
Yeah? So, ready? This is what it looks like.
Okay. Connie.
Sorry, Connie. You want to come here? Okay, so maybe go at a little bit of an angle and then you can, yeah. So the full version, you're in Padmasana, lotus pose, full lotus pose, and then you bring your left arm, bye Connie, and your right arm around behind your back and try to catch the feet. And then exhale, that was Ashtau. And then Nava, exhale, come forward and bring your forehead, nose, chin towards the floor and take 10 breaths here. After 10 breaths, you go Dasha, inhale, come up. That's it. All right?
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, in terms of vinyasa, there's not a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a modification first.
Yeah. It's quite simple.
Yeah, if you're not doing full lotus, then our usual modification is, Shrachi calls it Sukhasana, easy pose. You just cross your ankles, and then you would bring your arms around behind your back, and basically you catch as high on your arms as you can. So that might be the wrists, or the forearms, or the elbows. And then you would hold there, and exhale, go forward. And same thing, just tipping forward. Maybe you don't come all the way down. That's fine. You just go as far as you can, with the idea too of, you know, keeping the hips on the floor. So try not to collapse off of the hips as you come down. And over time, it might take a little while, then eventually your head is going to touch the floor. And then given even more time, maybe you'll be in full lotus one day doing it. Really, very similar postures, right? Either way.
And I would just add, for both, whether you're doing the modified version or the full expression of it, you can have chin on the floor as well. Just make sure if you're doing that it comes kind of easy for you, that you are not completely collapsing your neck and kind of stopping the circulation.
Like
in the
overarching
back. Overarching, yeah, at the cost of, you know, doing this. And then even like sometimes we see people reaching forward with the chin, which kind of gets all these muscles really tense, and the tension here is connected to the tension in your hips as well. So just be mindful of that you're not overdoing it. You can kind of reach forward as a directional thing, but without feeling...
Yeah, I would say there's some good cueing that we can give that would stop people from doing that, which is, when you're setting up for it, you want to extend your spine, right? You don't want to start in a round back position. You want to extend the spine so you create the arch before you go down, instead of going down and then finding the arch.
Yeah, and then...
That's the same for all forward bends, really.
Yeah.
You know, in primary series, you don't want to put your nose on your shin and then lift your chin to look at your foot. You want to keep the chin extended as you go down.
We've said it, I'm sure, in many of our other videos, but the drishti and the cue often or the cue of the drishti itself, the gaze, is more of directional than about necessarily seeing. So the thing that it says to look at. So in case of all the forward folds, majority of the forward folds, the cue is to look at your toes, but it's not that you have to see them. It's more that you're moving in that direction. So then...
Yeah, and we should say for this pose, drishti is the nose. Nasagrai drishti, tip of the nose.
Which means don't go cross-eyed trying to look for your nose. Just keep the gaze gentle and soft and contained down.
Yeah. And when you get into the posture, one thing our teacher always says is free breathing with sound. So focus on trying to take full breaths. Because of the position and your diaphragm is like a little bit collapsed down, it can be difficult to breathe fully. Try to get your whole rib cage to move with the breath. Okay, so setting up, let's say we're trying to do the full version. We have a tutorial on full lotus. I can link to it here. And, you know, we'll put it near the end as well. We'll put it at the end of this video.
Yeah,
so
it suggests.
Yeah.
This is the next one.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen that, check that one out, because there's a lot to say about full lotus, and we can't do it all now. But if you can do full lotus in Ashtanga, we always do right leg first, always, and then left leg on top. And the trick is to get the feet high on your thighs, because the higher the feet go on the thighs, the more exposed the toes will be, the more they'll stick out to the sides like handles. If the feet don't come high on your legs, then your arms are going to have a hard time reaching around to the feet, right? So right from the first step, you're setting up so that you can bind. Get the heels right up into your belly as best you can. Probably that's part of the reason they're there too, right? Is to push into the belly.
Yeah, pressure.
The heels on either side of the navel. And then once you've got that one foot, you're going to catch. So Jelena's holding the foot with the right hand, holding the left foot with the right hand, and she's going to twist her body, but she's twisting her shoulders, but not her hips, right? So she wants to try to squeeze the left knee in towards the center line as she twists the left shoulder back. And that's taking the shoulder closer to the foot, and then she reaches over and clasps the foot.
There's another, I've seen some people do this too, if you're having even a hard time with this one, is where, see, my elbow in this one comes forward because I'm not really thinking about it, but if you catch from the front, and then you try to catch your forearm somewhere, and then here you have leverage of your arm to creep the fingers all the way down, it makes a huge difference if you can do that, if you can make a contact and then go along it to the final destination, which is...
the Eensy Weensy spider method.
Yes.
And then you bring your right arm around, and here we have a technique, the surprise yourself technique. We've talked about it before. You swing your arm around to relax the shoulder, and you can use that momentum sometimes to get further around to catch that other foot. And notice too, when Jelena's catching the feet, she's not just catching the toes, she's catching, you don't want to catch just the toe. The toes will come off, you know. So you
and if you
want to
have a bunion, it hurts a lot.
Yeah, it's too much pressure. So you want to try to catch the foot. And that's true actually of all the foot binding postures. Foot binding means something different in Ashtanga.
Here. And then if you want to deepen it, actually what I do is I gently flex my foot so I feel the heel goes even deeper into my belly, and then my arm becomes almost passive, like there's no actual strength in holding on to my foot, it's just hooked on top. I just maintain that shape through my fingers, but it's quite passive through the rest.
And then once you've managed to get the bind, or as close as you'll get to it, then you can pull in on your lower belly and extend your spine. So this is where we would get that extension through the neck as well, but you're not overdoing it with your neck, throwing your head back. And then try to hold that concavity in the lower belly as you go forward. Your sits bones will get light as you go forward. So they'll start to lift away from the floor. Draw back through your lower belly and activate the pelvic floor to try to keep the sits bones pointing down at least, if not connecting to the floor. And then you'll come down. And then you'll take your 10 breaths there. All right. Short but sweet.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I guess I did it. Maybe it's worth putting it into words, but I don't know if you noticed when I brought the second arm to bind, I lean forward. Sometimes it makes a big difference to kind of create more space. So you whip the arm and then sometimes it's still not there. If you start going forward, that kind of brings that hand closer towards your foot. So that's another one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so Baddha Padmasana. Is there something else you'd like to see? Let us know in the comments section. We're happy to make a tutorial. And not even just asanas, but also aspects of the practice.
Yeah.
So any questions about
topics
about Ashtanga? We only do Ashtanga. So there's one person that keeps writing and asking about eagle pose. We don't have eagle pose in Ashtanga. So we can talk about it, but we don't know anything about it.
We don't know anything. It's just not part of our tradition, so.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's other tutorials.
But thanks for being here.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Okay, take care. See you soon.